The camera or the thing?
Yeah, so let me see what's going on. You may have to share back. I don't know why we went into that phase.
Let me go. Think I'm gonna go outside and come back.
Huh?
I'm gonna go outside and check the Facebook feed.
Who's that?
Tomorrow.
Tell you to go outside then.
Say somebody link and say.
I can send it. I send it. We back live. We back live.
So you gotta pull back your link off of Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, guys. We were interrupted for a short while. Beijing alert. Oh shoot, what a man. Okay, guys, sorry. We apologize for that technical difficulties. We ask that you just come back on and share the link with your people. It was just a technical glitch there. I really don't know what happened. We still live, guys? Okay. So I don't know what happened there. I really apologize for that, but I cannot tell you what happened. I know we have good internet. I know we're still good.
Yeah, the bill paid, right?
Yeah, the bill paid. It's just they accept the money. Just tell me if we are getting any more difficulties there, and I would have to find another way and drop us down to a lower. Okay, so far so good. Thanks, Damani. Thanks for letting us know. Sorry, with these things we always get technical difficulties. Okay, can you just share back the link to those so we can get back the numbers we had? I'm just going to share it back with some other groups that we were in. Just share back the links if you can. Copy the link from the page, guys. I really don't know what happened there. So again, our humble apologies. Technology of the year. This also has its challenges. Just let me just share back and get back some of those people that were in, as I said before. The question that Jermaine repost your question if you can, please.
Sure. Okay. I was making the I'm still can't remember exactly what I was saying, but I made a point that 2020 was a very harrowing year for the Barbados economy. And not only Barbados economy, but economies all over the world. But we live in Barbados, so we can only speak specifically about Barbados. It was the 1 year that our gross domestic product and all economic output and activity in this country shrinked. I think the government tried its best to navigate through the wintry storm that we found ourselves in. Nonetheless, 2021 has started out with a bang and seems to be going the exact same direction already. So my query to you guys, based on the fact that tourism is our number one income earner, followed by the international business sector, followed by retail and distribution, services, and other productive sectors of the economy. And then we also have to look at the on-the-ground economy in Barbados. That also adds value to the economy as well. My query to you guys is, how do you see the outlook for Barbados in the year 2021, and specifically, what recommendations would you give to the government of Barbados? And I asked that question on the context that a lot of us in Barbados are very quick to criticize, but we criticize without meaning or without purpose, and criticizing doesn't really solve problems. It just means that you are a cyberbully. So I need some solutions because we really need to get things going. I am a young person. I am now 36 years old. Simon is about 35.
40.
Young Mr. Safri is about 16.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep it coming.
The whole context of that discussion is that we are the youth. People like to say that the youth is the future. As Minister Sandra Bradshaw said today, the youth in the future, youth is now, but we live in right now. Right, so we have to find solutions for the betterment of ourselves.
Correct.
Because persons who are already getting pension have already lived their life and are already getting their rewards.
That's right.
So we now have to do what we have to do for ourselves, and recognizing that it is our job and our present that we are living for. And if we have children, it is for their future. I have a son. Kimara Safri got 10 children. And
I got like
Simon
6
Ali,
and 7.
I
got like
hear you
6.
want enough.
Yeah, I got 6.
So, yeah.
But on the real, I think that one of the things we have to look at is the welcome stamp is one way to go. That was supposed to generate some kind of economic activity, and I think
it has.
It has. The welcome stamp has. So once it is monitored, and we can get the so-called digital nomads to come to Barbados and to say, you know what, Barbados has good infrastructure. The numbers of COVID cases are declining. Once they can see that there's not a hotbed for COVID, they will come and they will set up and do what they have to do. So I think that the whole issue with the welcome stamp program, that can be exploited more to get some more high net worth persons to come to Barbados to either set up remotely or to work.
But how can we get some of those so-called high net worth persons to also spend? Because I find that you may have somebody come in. Yes, don't get me wrong. They can go to the supermarket. They can buy gas. They can do it because they're living here for
People don't
things.
go to supermarkets.
Well, so be it. But how can we get people to also? How can we also get?
You get interrupted again?
I hope they're gonna know.
You get interrupted again, Timur?
I'm saying sorry. We are having trouble playing this video.
Well,
I don't know what's going on here.
You looking again?
I don't know. What you seeing?
I still seeing the video on.
Well, let me continue then, cause maybe just here.
Yeah.
Let me take off my mask and see if I can see that there.
Right. So to the start, let me see if we continue.
Oh, you
I
see
still seeing it right there. Maybe the computer. The baby computer say have a trouble playing this video, so maybe the computer not here because I'm still seeing us live.
All right, let me keep going.
If the high net worth people that we have, the high net worth people have to be able to spend. It's not theirs. Sorry, it's me. It's not you. It's just my
My
computer.
mask is
Yeah, let's see come off there. Yeah. Let me keep going.
Okay, it's
my
computer.
mask
It's
is
a
off.
computer.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So right, so the high net worth people that are coming here has to be able to spend. How do we challenge them to spend? Spend more past like we don't want people to come here and just live in and the only place they go to is the supermarket and home. But how do we engage
I
them?
think that if you challenge people to invest, well, we have to give
Thanks,
them
Terry.
somebody that,
Thank you.
we got to give them somebody that they want to invest in.
Yeah, how can we get them investing in businesses and Barbados? Because we got small businesses that we will like investors. Okay, we got a Shark Tank out to them.
We
Kind of
got
mentality,
to
yeah.
do a type of Shark Tank down here.
Correct. What can they do?
Shark Tank.
How can we use some of the same businesses that they're coming to do? So let's say, for example, somebody's an investor, but they're coming on the island. How can we connect that investor that may be interested in app development? How can we connect him with the app developers? If somebody down here is a big manufacturer from China that makes handbags, how can we bring him on to connect with the Bajans here?
Correct.
So we have to find a way that these people. I can tell you for sure I benefited from the people that are here in Welcome Stamp. And how I've benefited is that they come to the organization and they come to feed the homeless. And so that open thing, and they have donated because a number of them have come here, they donate, they've seen what we're doing with homeless, they've gone back and they started their own little round robin in terms of getting funds and getting assistance and how they can bring in food and how they can bring in supplies. So there is that way that we have seen it work. But but some of the things I don't know who they are as in their profession.
Well, what I would like to say to that, and having worked in the national business sector and commercial banking sector, let me take off the mask. Having worked in the international business sector and the commercial banking sector in Barbados, the honest truth is that a person coming to Barbados on the welcome stamp may necessarily just be the CEO of the company,
Which is the best body?
hold on, or the chief operations officer, one of the senior officials, right? However, that person, they may be able to invest in a small business on island, right? However, their seniors, or the more or less you would call the UBO, the ultimate beneficial owner, there are persons who are interested in investing in Barbados, but they don't want to invest in Barbados alone. Because persons are not interested in coming to Barbados. These people I'm speaking of are not interested in coming to Barbados and investing $100,000 or $200,000 in the business. These persons want to come and spend $5 or $10 million. So I want to say something now that a lot of Barbadians are against, but it is the reality of what will actually save us in the end financially. We need to come together as a collective bargaining unit in Garahon. right? We need to recognize that Barbados can't fight this crisis on its own. Trinidad can't fight the crisis on its own.
Correct.
Jamaica can't fight the crisis on its own. We have to come together as a
regional bloc
and fight this crisis. If you are approaching some of these multi-millionaires, you must be able to say to these multi-millionaires, listen, I want you to set up a business that will span from Jamaica in the north, straight down to, well, up to Barbados in the east. All right? Now, you may not have to set up a manufacturing plant in all of your countries, but if you set up a plant in Trinidad, you can set up sub offices in Barbados, Jamaica. You can even set up a plant.
And the fact that you here shows that the business can be diverse across the Caribbean.
Exactly.
So
I'll say this to you, all right? We need to get you remember when this crisis first started, all right? And this is one of the most distraughting things for me. You remember when we realized that we were no longer going to get the cruise tourism because obviously the ships have stopped coming now.
That's right.
All right. We also realized that we weren't going to get tourists coming from England or America. We only got a lower upsurge the other day because of the holidays, and there was some relaxation in the measures. Right. However, we said that we wanted to now promote Caribbean regional travel.
Okay.
So what's the first thing that happens? Trinidad locks its borders. We don't want to boycott Caribbean. Alright?
Yes,
Trinidad got more COVID than anybody else right now. Alright? And they had a tourist for a year. Alright?
But they got resources. They have resources.
They have oil, but oil is also depleting. We look
but it's still a commodity that's needed.
We look at the predicament Liat finds itself in now. Alright? Some countries want to close the doors to Liat. People don't want to invest in Liat. And it is kind of sad, right? Because
Wayne is saying how he's saying Barbados need to reinvent itself in all areas. You want to expand on that a little bit more there, Hoyt?
Wayne, I
I understand you.
Well, I would agree with you that Barbados needs to reinvent itself in all areas, right? The challenge is that I was in an interview recently, right? And I said, because I'm out there looking for a job, so anybody who got a job, I can take it, right? But I said to the associate director at the time, I said, look, Barbados is, and the person was in Bahamas. I said, our main industry between Bahamas and Barbados is tourism. But the challenge that we're going to face is that after the crisis, we're going to have to fight twice as hard for half of the business, right? And the reality is that you see all the industries that we got in the Caribbean that we thought that we had some low niche in, like tourism and nutmeg production, all these things in Grenada and even ganja in St. Vincent and Jamaica and things. All of the countries around the world have been impacted by COVID. There's no part of the globe which has not been touched. So everybody is going to be seeking to diversify their economy.
Correct.
This is what I'm going to say to you, right, Wayne? It is as we do in the banking sector. Well, not we, I'm no longer a banker. You look for generic growth. So you look at the people who you already have as customers and you try to maximize the profitability from that customer. I'm saying that to you. I'm saying that to you to say that we got to look at the industries which we already have and we got to build and grow on them.
Not about you, Simon. I think that's the problem that we face right now. When years ago these sectors were calling out, especially we talk about the agriculture and the manufacturing sectors, were calling out for better deals. We're calling out to embrace these sectors a little bit more, start kitchen gardens a little bit more in terms of backyard gardening and what's not. And I think over the years, I'm not talking specifically about any particular administration, but over the years we have neglected those. And those things that are now necessary for driving the economy, we don't have. Our manufacturing sectors are depleted. They're next to none. If you go up to the industrial parks, they're empty. Their warehouses catching dust. The only tenant is cockroach.
Because the problem too, Kimar, that we have to address is how do we address the high cost of operating business in Barbados? Let's talk about staff. what we are talking about is creating a product from a raw material and bring it forward. Now, it is easy to bring in things in bulk. Bring in things on the ship, on the the cargo ship, bring it bulk and then resell. We've been doing that for centuries. That's nothing creative.
But
the challenge is when we have people who may say, you know what, I want to develop my solar industry, solar panel industry, or photovoltaic business or whatever, that requires different components from around the world. How are we able to help that manufacturer that is trying to...
You could only help anybody in Barbados as it relates to how can we use the current businesses in Barbados to grow Barbados or to bring Barbados to a place of sustainability especially for ourselves and our families. Barbados has to lower duties.
Yeah.
Barbados has to find a way to lower taxes. And if big countries are averting Barbados because of the 17.5% tax, we would have to find ways to cut the tax back down to 10%. We will have to find ways to cut these 100% markups on in importation, and we will have to give the country a reason to spend the money that is hidden in the bank and just growing moss. Because the more that is spent and the more is being spent in economy, I'm not economist, but I think that I got a little common sense that the more things can happen.
True.
So you are having people saving a lot, but you're not having people spending a lot.
That's it.
And you're not giving them a reason to spend. The same way how we can give businesses tax write-offs and we can give people tax incentives, I think that there should be a year of going back to 10% tax. And where you get the people money out of the bank spending. I think you could lower the interest rates on certain stuff. I think you can lower the importation of food. I think you can lower the importation of clothes. I think that you can look at small business and give them a little bit more incentives. Right. So you go back, and thank you, Sanjay, for concurring. But you go back to that grassroots level in order for people to think. Yes, there are people that want to even make a soap in Barbados.
It's a lot of inputs.
One soap in Barbados. The byproducts that you have to buy to make that one soap,
and then
you can might as well go and buy a Protect, and then
it's true.
And so you realize that then what is the raw materials to even make one soap so expensive in this country? Then the government needs to, before you go on there, is to regulate businesses in Barbados like supermarkets, insurance companies, and making sure these people are not taxing the dog out of the poor people in this country. Because when you go to a supermarket and you went from one supermarket and you see the can of corned beef for $4 and you got to run to another can of corned beef for $2, and so people prefer to shop here and there. We have to regulate how things are being done in this country, police how things are being done in this country, and also, I may end on this one, make sure the people that are supposed to be paying their fair share of tax pay. Because then when they don't pay, you come and you squeeze me, you squeeze you, and the small man then have to make up for what the man that owe 25 million can do. Exactly. And if the one man that owe 25 million was to pay by 25 million, a woman don't need to squeeze me and you so hard.
That's right.
So that is my solution to that.
Well, I want to say something here now, because you made a lot of statements there, but I think there's a misunderstanding how the economy works by both you guys. All right, Kimar, now you talk about lowering taxes to 10%. The challenge that you will face, and this is something we as Barbadians have to understand. You cannot expect to have an extremely high standard of living, right, in a low tax jurisdiction.
Fair enough.
It is reality.
But who create the high who create the high standard of living?
Hold on. Yes, we created it, and let me tell you something. I can say this to you, right? You, as much as we are in the middle of a pandemic right now, if you go out there right now and somebody run down that street and lick you down, you could be guaranteed that there will be police officers there. If you are injured, there will be an ambulance there to pick you up. You will be taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. You may have to wait a little while, but you will be taken there. If you have broken a bone or compressed your lung, you will be taken into the accident emergency department. You will get an X-ray. If you have to be admitted, you will be admitted.
But what is the point to all this?
Hold on.
What is the point to all this?
Hold on. You will be fed. All right? After you have been admitted and kept in the hospital for 2 weeks, you will be released. If you gotta get a cast, you can get it. If you gotta get a cane to walk with, you can get it. And if after that you have to go back to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for physical therapy, you will go back and get that. If you need transportation to the hospital, it will be provided to you, right? And if during that time you cannot work, you will get national insurance. Apart from that, if the national insurance is not enough, the government has an adopt a family program, and you will get food.
But all that to
right?
say,
I am saying all that to you to say this: there is a cost.
Right?
But we're not negating, we're not ready for the cost.
Hold on.
We're not ready for the cost.
Hold on, Kimar. Let me say this to you, right? I have just said all of that to you as one person in Barbados. The government of Barbados has to deal with 270,000 people. You gotta deal with roads.
But what you hold on. You know where all on the roads are?
No, hold on. You got to fix.
You
got.
One point was good enough.
Hold on. You got to fix schools. You got free education, right? The government provides a whole raft of services, right? We got
that's a good question.
We provide
for these services?
free university education.
But all of that to say what? We're not negating any part of this economy.
I am saying all that to you to say this, right? You cannot want all of these what you call freebies from your government and expect to get a low tax.
No, we're not saying that.
I don't think it comes not to a low tax jurisdiction, Jeremy. You can't equate that. That's a government responsibility on the taxes you pay. Whether or not you pay 1% in tax or 2% in tax, the government has an obligation to these things for you. If the government wanted to say, okay, you live in a high society, low tax, you can't have a low tax, then tell me that let me pay a little tax for the hospital, let me pay a little tax on this, so you can't tell me nothing. Because you said that whether a country pay 1% tax or 10% tax, and you include these in the tax, that is what you should pay. The problem with the government of today, or any government, is that we are not collecting the taxes that we are supposed to be collecting for who is supposed to be collecting.
Kimar,
and you are squeezed for it.
Kimar, I want to put something on the table, right? One of the only regions in the world that we could compare to Barbados when it comes to taxes and provision of services is the Nordic countries, right?
Barry Jordan is saying with the current affairs, the state of affairs, local industries it produce will be largely ignored because they will be too expensive.
Elaborate on that, Barry. How you mean? Is it too expensive to finance them or to give them grant funding or some kind of low interest loans? But that's the other thing too. I don't mean to change the topic, but I just want to just say as I remember. It's not that a lot of the manufacturers and medium to small, what we're looking at is that we got the micro businesses, and we got the small, then we got the medium. Right? And we got to understand that a lot of these small or micro businesses don't necessarily want handouts.
No, you don't.
But what you want is a low interest loan. If you're saying that the Small Business Association has, I think the lady was saying that close to $3 million or $4 million in money available for small business person, but they're not accessing it. She and her team have to look at why they're not accessing it. If you're putting all these hurdles in place for manufacturers,
you're talking about for the small government. But Simon, if you're giving me three, and don't let me choke cold water, but I also can choke some hot water too. I understand that the 3 million, the 3,000, the 5,000.
No, not that. I mean, I thought about the SBA.
SBA, Small Business Association, got 3,000.
They have money in loans.
Right, to get 3,000. But what if you started a business today? What can 3,000 do for you? I'm not saying if you want to go and buy fruits and sell for the side of the road, that's possible.
That's vending. Right?
That's vending. That could be helped there. But for me that own a printery in town, and one of my machines is $10,000. 3,000 cannot do. If the rent alone is first month, last month, and deposit, but the 3,000, are you renting a space for 2,000? What do you think they'll lick out? So again, you're giving, but also the interest rate that they're coming back in is 6.5 for the reduced balance. Then there's hidden fees of signing document. You are out money. Then you don't even have some businesses now tell you can't have operational fees. So I can buy all the stock in the world, but I can't pay for 2 to 3 to 6 months staff to be able to run that business like water, telephone, to be able to operate the business. We continuously put stupid things in place to restrict people, and then that is why then when in 2 to 3 years a business fall up, because one, it ain't got the funds to continue, it wasn't, and not only that, The biggest mistake we continue making in this country is being able to think that we can give any dummy that not for the door the money. Because there's some people in this country has good ideas but poor money man. Like Shark Tank, because in Shark Tank, when a business in Shark Tank signs to a multi-million-dollar or $1,000 deal with one of those sharks, there is a shark company each of them own. It comes with an accountant, a lawyer, it comes with bodies take control of your business because the man that invests in you don't want you to fail.
Because point by Wayne is saying that we need rent controls to help save small businesses.
And that's what we should be building, you know.
You're right.
And I think that's why BID BIDC corporate buildings. And we can't get in them. You're asking for whatever. No, don't get me wrong. I got office in BIDC, so you understand me.
But hold on. Guys.
But we have to look at it.
Hold on, guys. I think y'all. All right. So.
The YBT is not us.
You business trust.
It's you business trust, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the advisory body.
Hold on. You got the trust loan scheme.
That's to give you 40,000.
And you got the enterprise loan fund, which gives $100,000. Hold on. You got to meet your criteria, right? But this is what I want to say here, and this is something we need to understand because I was also a former businessman, right? No, Kimari,
I'm still a businessman,
right? I am. Because you must have good money management skills, and we have seen that happen with doctors, lawyers, also people because they are running businesses too, right? But the point I want to make here, right? If you look at successful businesses, or large business, a business will be driven by an effective leader, right? And the truth is, hold on.
Not necessarily.
Even persons with the worst to get the right persons involved in the business with them.
Yes.
Right? So you must first recognize that you cannot be the operations manager, the corporate financial accountant, you can't be the manufacturing manager. You have to tell what I will say, given the pandemic that we are in now and the predicament that the Barbados economy is in, you have these.
Sorry, Sanchez said not all leaders are effective and equipped.
Agreed. I agree. What I will say is this: we have to go back to the drawing board with reference to all of the officers in those different entities that I have just called out. All right, because the sad reality is that there are some people who are business. So you know, there's an old saying: you don't understand victory until you don't understand what it means to win until you.
But that's not that's not a fair statement. Hold on, it's not a fair statement because
hold on, Kimar. Hold
on. But I don't.
Here is here with us, right? Simon is a businessman, his own right. I was a businessman, you are a businessman, right? The three of we could look at anybody out there who wants to start a business and share our experiences, right? And say, listen, this is what you should do. Some book. We're going to base off of experience.
Yeah, but
hold on. How can someone who has never yet run a business, who their only claim to fame is that they were able to land a job in an agency, do or not do to be successful in the
No,
business?
no. The thing is with for business, what you call BDOs or business development officers, you find that most BDOs are not there to develop businesses in some cases. You find that most BDOs are there to keep you on track based on the target that the business has. That the business need to do that, or here so you gotta develop a business plan, how to develop a business plan. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're leaders in the business. They just tell you how to develop a plan to successfully meet the criteria within the particular organization.
Kimar, I can tell something. Close. Back on your mask, right? When I was
you gonna be talking long.
Right, no. When I was in the commercial banking sector, right, and this is one thing that a lot of persons won't realize. When a proposal, a credit proposal is being done to submit, proposal is being submitted to the credit risk department or senior management for approval for a business loan, right? It is done on a weighted average. So you look at the financials, the market economy,
Which is fine.
the weight inside of that proposal.
Your ability to pay back.
No, the ability to pay back carries about 10%. The bank looks at the person applying for the loan, and the bank says, "Do you believe that this person can run a business?"
Tell yourself if they're black or white.
No,
but here's the problem. But here's the problem.
But the commercial banks have recognized that if you want to borrow my money and you don't, and I don't think you know anything about business, because the banks recognize a credit risk officer or a credit officer can't tell you how.
The thing is, Denise, you have moved away from the idea to develop additional businesses outside of the tourism. I always tell people that let me go back on track. If you want to develop those businesses, Barbados need to have a strong, and I want to start a business development hub.
I agree with you.
Where people come in here, they have the ideas, you help them develop it, you help them run it, you help them manage it. There's no fee to us. The only fee is the success that you have on a percentage of the fee if you're successful. So, Simon, you are educated. You can help write documentation. You can come here with our content and stuff like that. Bring your business. We take a percent. You give us an advisory share, not necessarily a share of the company, advisory share. And if you make feeling, it's because they do not have the avenues to think. And I know that because trust me, I get where I get because I had nobody.
You know what you're proposing there. Senator Caswell Franklin has created an excellent business by arguing before.
To go back to Dennis said is that what you are looking at here is how do we self-sustain the businesses in Barbados and in a way that the businesses in Barbados could continue living, because if you take
your business will not be the interest of the small business.
Yeah, you're bringing them in here, but not only that.
Their own
but
things to get their own
one of the problems that we find as well, though, is that we do not have a lot of the small businesses paying the tax. Yeah, but you and we took up the threshold, which is, in my opinion, yes, you're trying to save the small man, but if in the way that you pass through Bridgetown and you realize 90% of Bridgetown businesses do not pay, does not pay tax, you lose revenue.
I can disagree.
And they will tax other places or other ways. Hold on. If you go in America, I mean, they go, gosh, to sell their hot dog in a roll, is you got to add to the tax.
I disagree with you, and I tell you the reason why, Kimar. In Barbados, last year, I believe that the government of Barbados only collected around $60 million in corporation taxes. Right?
No, a lot of money.
So the small businesses pay any taxes either. However,
But we
where
don't-
where the bulk of government taxation comes from is the value added tax and the land tax and income tax. Or don't see it. Any small businessman that want to operate in Barbados, he may get away from paying corporation taxes, but he gotta pay all them rest of taxes.
Yeah, from
whether
VAT
it be
right down.
VAT, you know, 'cause
two to three particular avenues, areas, too much more so that, like, you know, we're dependent so much on tourism, but we, so like say we dependent so much on tourism, but we then dependent on these two particular avenues for so much for tax.
but you don't
Yeah.
you-
And
you tax some of these small businesses as you were talking about. Now previously the tax rate in Barbados was 20%. Now Ms. Smartley brought it down to between 1% and 5%, right? In line with OECD requirements. Their profit on a yearly basis. They got some small businesses that may make $30,000 or $40,000 in taxes. If you make $40,000 in taxes, you gotta pay $10,000 to the government,
Profit.
right? I
It
mean,
would
realistically,
dent you.
you that are needed to replenish stock
Of
at
course.
that given time, right? So
But